Welcome back to a brand new KiwiHoopers podcast episode. Today we have a special guest. He is Frontier Conference Freshman of the Year, first team All Frontier League selection, first team All GNAC and GNAC All Tournament team, ranked first in points in his conference, one of the hardest D2 prospect in the transfer portal this year. Welcome to the show, Kael Robinson.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Who handed you your first basketball?
That would have been my dad. So I played rugby my whole childhood. Um and then my school didn't have a basketball team until year six. So that would have been when I was like 10 years old, I guess. And then started playing there when I was like 11. Then from there I went to Fraser High School, played for Jeff Green, where that was an experience. Definitely learned a lot and changed the way I see the game. Then from there, when I was year 10, I switched to St. John's College and played for Pookie Linden and got to play with Finn Lally and Akiva McBurney Griffin, who are now over here as well, and both at Division One schools, UC Irvine and William and Mary. I played for the Wellington Saints under Zico Coronel. We won the championship that year. An eye-opening experience to see, what it takes to uh, win at that next level, with the likes of Dion Brewster and Tohi Smith-Milner and Tane Samuels and Cohen Roach was there. Yeah, we had quite a good team and definitely learned a whole lot. Zico's probably the smartest coach I've played for. Um, he doesn't sleep, just watches film and coaches basketball. And then I came over here and went to Rocky Mountain College for my first 3 years. After my first year, I went back and played for the Franklin Bulls, played for Morgan Maskell, played with Corey Webster, so that was pretty cool. Childhood hero, watching him play, and ended up being his teammate.
How did you end up in an NAIA school in the first
Yeah.
place?
I guess I got lucky. I was getting recruited during COVID, so basically, if you weren't one of the top international prospects, you weren't going to get over here. Um, I had a My dad had played in the local rec league in Hamilton, and he played with a guy called Neil Stevens, who used to be a tall black. And his son Max Stevens was over here and basically told the coach, "You need to get this guy." Um, Ended up gave me a scholarship, which wasn't enough, so wouldn't have been able to come over here. And then Neil told him, "No, you seriously should give him a full ride scholarship." And the coach ended up giving it to me, and then that allowed me to come over. And yeah, haven't looked back. Enjoyed playing 3 years with Maxim Stevens. Coach at Rocky was real old school, and we were running a sort of style that wasn't necessarily the modern style of basketball until my third year, when an assistant coach came in and made our offense more modern. And definitely, I mean, we were scoring 90 points per game. The last coach I've played for here is the sort of European NBA style. It took a little while. Like, I didn't, the first game I played like 5 minutes, and then it slowly increased each game from there until I eventually started like 5 games later. Just learning and seeing where I fit in and how I can contribute was probably the best thing, because I was a shooting guard coming out of high school, played for Zico and was a shooting guard. Came over here, started at the shooting guard, then moved to the small forward, and then by my second and third year, I was a power forward. And then last season, I ended up playing center. I like to think I'm versatile, so I like doing what's required to help the team succeed. And I didn't really have a problem with it.
I think being the Swiss Army knife is what coach is looking for, someone to be on their team and they be able to, adjust and make different plays when you have a player on their team. Usually international student athletes often face hurdles. What was the toughest adjustment for you and how did you pushing through it?
I like to think I'm independent. I do miss home, but I don't get like homesick or anything. I like hanging out with friends and enjoying my time here, the experience. Like, this was one of the dreams I had, playing college basketball. Um, and yeah, the environment here in Montana, they're real nice. So it's kind of similar to New Zealand. Um, the hardest thing to adjust to was the snow. I hate the snow. It's nice, and then like it was nice for the first day, and then you realize, oh shit, I gotta walk through this to get to class, and it's not fun. Yeah, no, it definitely did help having Max there. He definitely, was like a big brother to me. His sister was even at the school too, playing basketball, so
Yep.
I knew her a bit better than him because we were closer in age. But
Mhm.
I basically had like a big sister and brother here, which I guess helped feel like, it was home.
She's quite a bit of a baller too, because she was in the Tall Ferns camp and also represent New Zealand in the 3-on-3 competition as well. So
Yeah.
yep, awesome. You have experienced both NAIA and then NCAA D2. Obviously, you're in the transfer portal right now, and you went for a couple of visits. How did you narrow down from so many offers, so many interests?
Basically, the best fit is how I narrowed it down. So that was like location, level of play, like level of interest. Because if the head coach doesn't reach out, it doesn't necessarily mean they're that interested. And I learned that from the last time I was transferring. And yeah, then I ended up narrowing it down to the four schools, had to say no to a few, and then yeah, I got a good variety of locations that were somewhere that I would think I would want to experience.
Tell me about your visit to each school.
I started at Montana State, so they flew my dad out, which was pretty cool. I really liked how they went in depth with how they could improve an area of my game that was already pretty good, but they could make it even better. Then from there, we went to Cincinnati and went on a visit to Northern Kentucky University. That was a really connected coaching group, and they were really organized and again showed how they could improve my game and how I would fit in. From there, we went to Texas to Nacogdoches, where Stephen F. Austin was. The practice facility and locker room were 3 years old, and specifically for men's and women's basketball. Yeah, I really liked their facilities, and their coaches were really cool too. From there, we went to Riverside, and that was a that was a different experience. I liked the spot. Their coach just left though, so it was kind of awkward. Yeah, I really liked the location. It was a huge campus with like I think it was 18,000 people. Very warm compared to Montana.
Could you tell me one best piece of advice that you have received so far in your journey?
One thing that sticks with me that instantly came to mind when you asked that was when I was on the Wellington Saints. I can't remember if I think it was Dion, it might have been Dion Brewster or Zico Coronel, the coach, that said, be a sponge, like soak up all the knowledge that you can. And that's definitely stuck with me the whole way through. Um, just because you're constantly learning, and it's just, it's a good thing to think about because you're not, trying to tell people what to do. You're actually like focused and listening to what people are saying and thinking about it.
If you could have a dinner party with any three people, dead or alive, who would they be, and what is the first question that you're going to ask each one of them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would probably go Steve. I've met him briefly once before at his Stephen Adams camp. Um, and yeah, he just obviously seems like a real cool dude, and everyone loves him, and I'd definitely like to have him there. Um, and I'll probably go with one of my favorite rugby players, Daniel Carter. Probably have to go with LeBron James. Just I would ask Steve, how does he think that he finds the way to fit his role so well and understand what needs to be done and when and how it needs to be done? I would ask Dan Carter what his favorite memory from his playing career was. And then LeBron, I would ask who his best teammate was.
I got a question for you based on what your question for the player is, for Dan Card especially. What is your favorite memory so far in your journey?
Ooh, yeah, it's a good one. I definitely really enjoyed this season. Definitely probably would be beating Montana State, which is kind of funny because they were school recruiting me. Yeah, 2 years ago when I was a part of the Rocky Mountain College team that beat the NAIA school that beat the Division One school. That will stick with me forever, probably.
Brilliant. And we have a question from the previous guest of the show, and even Tay Jones. His
Yeah.
question for you was
top 10 all-time Kiwi basketballers.
I'll say Steve. Steve would be on there. Sean Marks, Pero Cameron. Then we'll go Tom Abercrombie, Corey Webster, Shea Illy, Tohi Smith-Milner. And then where can we go from there? Lindsay Tate, like Lindsay Tate. Pookie Linden and Neil Stevens.
now it's your turn to give our next guest your question. We're not going to show it in this episode. We're going to play it to the other guests the next time when they come on. So what will your question be?
Who has been your favorite guest so far?
Oh, that's going to be very tough because I think every single guest, I say this every single time, we got a special guest coming onto the show. Every one of them has been special so far. I think, honestly, having Corey Webster on the show was amazing because he's a legend in New Zealand basketball. Dylan Belcher, he's a legend as well. So he's was one of my favorite player. I don't think I've told him that, but he was one of my favorite player of Tall Blacks because just his tenacity on defense, the way that he does little things to help the team.
Yeah.
He's not like a prolific scorer, but he does every little thing to help the team to win. So, that's what I used to model my game before I shut my hand go. So yeah, so he definitely was a special moment for him to come on the show. And man, that's just been so many amazing. Aniwa, that was really special because been watching his journey, which is special, and finally had that conversation with him, pick his brains on some of the things in terms of basketball and some of the things, how he become who he is and how he become a better player and all that. That was super special as well. So I think, it's hard to pick one, but if I have to, I actually pick Dylan Belcher just because, because he was my favorite player off the Tall Blacks. So
yeah, he knows how to do his role. He's like Steven Adams. He was a great
100%.
at what he did. Who would your favorite female guest be?
Charlie's Legend Walker.
That's
because again, she's special. She's a special player, and also she's super charismatic, and you can tell from her social media presence and all that. She's just got it all. She's got skill. She's got the kids these days say she's got the aura.
Yeah, she's got aura.
Yeah.
I practiced with her when I was younger, and a couple times, and it was definitely really cool to practice with someone like her and seeing where she is now as well. It's pretty special.
Yeah, and then I can't forget I had Taylor Dalton on my show as well as Maya Jones, and also the whole Jones family was on the show, which is amazing.
Phil Jones, that's someone I forgot.
Yeah, so that was super special episode, and it was cool that we be able to do it in person. And I had my friend Lyndon doing the interview with me, interviewing Kat Jones as well, which is great. And then we had a glimpse of Hayden and his sister Ava as well. So that episode was one of my favorite as well. So man, it's like I say, every single episode's been very special.
Yeah.
So my last question for you is, who are you most thankful for?
Probably my mom and dad. Just, my parents, I feel like they raised me right, taught me the right values like respect, kindness, and definitely appreciate and love them for that.
Ultimately, which college are you choosing to play for next season?
Yeah, so I have decided to attend Northern Kentucky University next year.
That's awesome. Congratulations on the pick, and I can't wait to put your stats on the KiwiHooper website as well.